Hello, guys, and welcome back to this new episode. Today, we are going to discuss dragons. Now, in order to discuss the dragons, and we're gonna get later on to a particular dragon, we are going to give you some history here. Ulysses Aldomanti in 1572 reported the existence of dragons in that period. Also, in 1549, touristic guides in Switzerland were also mentioning the presence of dragons hidden in mountains. Yet again, is that possible? To say it with Pratesi, dragons are nothing else but 80 centimeter long lizards, right? So it's still possible that in the 16th century we did have dragons hidden here in Europe. Dragons have, on the other hand, populated the imaginary of Europe as well as Asia, right? They have been described as creatures with wings or without wings. In Asia, without, in Europe, with wings, and have been fought by heroes or saints. But before the Middle Ages and before heroes and saints fighting against dragons, we have had certain reports from Assyria and Merodach that testify of of dragons with wings, right? And the aspect of wings is particularly interesting because it means also that according to Peter Dixon, that those wings were not necessarily an element completely invented. They might have existed wings or dragons with wings, but the wings were never depicted as huge as they should have been to allow the dragon to fly. In other words, if the lizard weighs 80 kilos, right, then the wings should have been 200 meters, right? And so what that eventually means is that probably there were some wings that could allow the dragon only to move laterally, so on the side. So the question remains, were dragons able to fly? To this, still Peter Dickinson said something important, meaning, for instance, that there was some sort of inflatable substance. They were thinking of hydrogen contained in the stomach that could allow the dragon to actually lift himself and fly, right? Plus, on top of that, it is possible that fire had been omitted by the dragon because of the presence of hydrogen that would have guaranteed, some sort of fire when hydrogen met like a flintlock. And so this could have been the origin behind the stories around dragons. However, today we're not going to focus in general on dragons, but on one particular dragon, and that is the so-called Komodo Dragon, a dragon that comes from Indonesia, from the island of Komodo. And also in other islands, it is possible to find those dragons. Those are like huge lizards. They are like up to 3 meters, usually more 2 meters. They weigh around 80 kilos, no more than 100 anyway. And those are animals that are absolutely devastating. Devastating animals because, first of all, they are carnivores, so they eat everything that is meat, from boars to buffaloes to cows. They can eat up to 450 kilos per day, so this is like a huge amount that they can eat. They are more properly called Varanus, right? And Varanus are very well known in Southeast Asia because of their tongue. Their tongue contains a mixture of poison and bacteria that is absolutely terrifying and could kill everybody and everything in matter of minutes. They also walk. They walk for long distances, up to 10 kilometers, right? But they do walk generally slow. They can walk like 5 kilometers per hour, but they also can have sprints where they reach the speed of like 18-20 kilometers per hour. So no, actually bad for those animals. But how do they kill? This is terribly fascinating. They kill basically by biting their victims, their prey. They kill through a bite. A bite because we said the tongue is full of poison and bacteria. There are more than 50 types of strains. So basically their victim dies in 1 or 2 days at the most. And basically they are also incredibly powerful in their senses, especially like when it comes to their odor. They can smell a prey up to 5 kilometers, so it's extremely dangerous to go nearby them. To be even in the area of 10 kilometers could be absolutely fatal for humans and for victims in general. That is why the last time it has been seen was in Thailand. A Varanus of slightly smaller dimensions entered a market, and everybody was terrified and quickly escaped from the market because they all knew that this could be extremely dangerous for them. Now, it's also very interesting how they reproduce themselves, right? So they can reproduce themselves either with mating or without mating. And if they don't mate, if they don't have sex, in other words, right? What will happen is that the female individual will lay down the eggs, and so it's gonna go like that. Whereas if they do mate, then between May and August, the female will lay down will mate, and then in September she will lay down the eggs. It's gonna be like around 20 eggs. Now, Varanuses, they do live up until 65 years, and so quite a long life. That is granted that they can survive the first 3 years. In fact, Varanuses are particularly vulnerable, and that is why they spend their lives on trees mostly, and they are very well protected by their mothers. Also, let's consider here that the Varanuses are considered officially an endangered species, and so they run the risk of extinction. Yet the Varanus remains one of the most important species because remember what we have said about his poison and his mixture of poison and bacteria on the tongue. Exactly that could help us because some researchers have started investigating the properties, I should say, of their blood, and they have discovered that their blood contains what are known as AMPs. In other words, those are antimicrobial peptides, right? And they might be very useful for us to understand a new type of antibiotic, a stronger type of antibiotic that can save us from many more infections or infections that are way more powerful. With that being said, guys, let me know if you knew dragons of Komodo, if you have ever seen one, if you want to actually visit Indonesia and discover them. Let me know what you guys think in the comment below. I'll talk to you next time, and it will also tell you to like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you can receive all the new updates. Bye!